Dark. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. I think we should have worked on our lighting a little bit before I went live because I'm super dark, but that's okay. I'm illuminating like the vampire that I am. So I just wanted to say what is up. Welcome back to, hopefully you're on YouTube Live or we're also on Twitch Live. I know we have already about 10 people on our Twitch channel. And then Kat, we will be bringing in Kat. It's going to be her first premiere day on YouTube because we've had Chanel on and Brittany, as you guys know, and I'm excited to bring Kat in, and we'll kind of talk about her position with Ghost Girl Diaries. And Kat and I together tend to be pretty crazy. So I've said it before, Kat is like the Aaron Goodwin of the group. She was the last one that we brought in for Ghost Girl Diaries. Actually, we've already hired a few other people. We'll talk about that too today. But officially, as far as cast goes, Kat was the last one that we brought in. She also does our social media management. We'll kind of talk about all her titles. She does a lot like I do. I've kind of been training her under my wing, and she's learning how much there actually is to do in a production company. I think she's like, wow, you know, that's why I'm always all over the place. I always have 400 things to do on my to-do list. She's been a really big help with everything. She's kind of learning the ropes of the EP side as well. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in Kat, and you know, we're going to talk about Krampus today. Obviously, it was Krampus week, and I know that I did a video that we had posted kind of late last night. So we'll touch on Krampus, but I feel like we're going to kind of talk about a few different things. Just because Kat and I are ridiculous together as well, and we went to Universal Studios. We'll kind of touch on that, and I don't know, I'm excited for you guys just to get to know her because she's pretty hilarious, and when we're together, we can be pretty obnoxious. So give me 2 seconds and I'll be right back. Oh, hey guys, welcome, Kat. Oh my goodness, what is up, Kat? How are you?
I am so well. How are you?
So good. So, Kat was brought in officially. I know that a lot of my Patreon subs are going to know this story. I do want to give more of a backstory for the YouTube subs because, YouTubers have been left out since recently we decided to go back to YouTube. So, Kat, her little story is she actually did come through from the casting call. And I had really, really enjoyed Kat. We ended up hiring someone else that had already been in the inner circle. That person didn't work out. I had sent Kat kind of a thanks but no thanks letter. And on social media, the day I fired the other person, Kat must have had my notifications on because literally within like a minute of me announcing like we needed another person, Kat wrote me another email and she was like, hey, remember me? Thanks but no thanks, I'm back.
Oh my god. I'll never forget that either because I was like, is that a little stalkerish? I don't know if that's kind of like stalkerish, but I'm glad I did.
No, I'm glad you did too because it was, I mean, it's, that is, to me, for the audience, it shows like what you want, go after it. Just because someone says no or not right now doesn't mean it's indefinitely over. Or, I know you can even start your own journey, that's fine, but in your case, you literally were like, oh no, I'm coming back, girl. But I did. I left it open when I sent you that letter. I was like, you know what? I really enjoyed you. I liked you. If we get another opening, come back in and chat with us. And you were like, I'm here. I'm right here.
I am right here. And now I'm here.
And now you're here. And Kat was the perfect missing puzzle piece. So obviously you guys know I met Brittani first, so she was kind of like the first hire, and then Chanel came out of nowhere on Instagram, and Kat came out of nowhere as well. Kat lives in New Hampshire, so she's way up northeast from us.
The boondocks.
Way over on the East Coast. And so, what's your, take on being with Ghost Girl Diaries? You've been with us for like 6 months now, right? About 6 months. And you've gotten to work with us with Chanel and Kat and Brittani, you are Kat, just kidding. But you have worked with Kat and Blake.
Oh my god, here we go.
I know. So what do you think? Like, what are your, really inner relationships with everybody? Like, how's it going so far?
So, just being honest, it's been like really smooth, honestly, especially when I met everybody for the first time going to Vegas. It was like I already knew everybody, and I really didn't, like, at all.
Right.
So it was a really smooth transition, and, of course, learning things from Krystal was just a huge eye-opener, and you really learned a lot, and it's been great.
It was really fun. Yeah, it was weird when everyone came out the very first visit to Vegas. Well, I had, known Brittani and Chanel for a while, a little bit longer, a few more months, and we had kind of bonded, but I don't know, I feel like throughout, even before you came in, we were just so naturally just like family. It was really weird. And I think, I remember Brittani calling me and she was like, I'm just really worried about Kat because I just want us all to be close. And then you came out and it was like, we were all like, it was so oddly natural. I mean, it was oddly natural. And literally from the minute you guys came out here, all of us were like, it's a past life thing. Like, it's totally...
It absolutely had to be, because there's no other explanation for it. I mean, because, like when you first meet people, there's always like that awkward introduction, and then you have to kind of like introduce personalities and just kind of pray that it works out. And it just did. I mean, it just did. And there was none of that awkwardness at all.
Well, even before I brought each of you in, I kind of had an idea. Chanel is on right now. She's making funny faces of like big smileys.
Hey, Shanae.
In Twitch, because she knows. Chanel's like, oh, I know. But so, when we brought you in, even before I officially like hired Brittani or Chanel or even you, I had an idea of like kind of characters I wanted to bring in because, Ghost Girl Diaries, you guys were walking into a brand that has already been created, which is kind of a unique situation, right? Like most of the time when you're coming in as like a startup, it's like you're literally starting from the bottom, but you guys were walking into something that had already been established, which is kind of cool for you guys. But that benefit was me trying to find a newbie, which is Brittani. That was like my ultimate goal. I wanted to find somebody dark. which is clearly Chanel. She's a little bit weird. You know, she likes her dark, weird, witchy
But
stuff.
we love you!
And I love her for... No, she's supposed to be that way. You know what I mean? Like, we want her to be unique. And then the other person I was looking for was... I'm laughing. Was quirkiness. No, literally, I remember telling Blake, I want someone who is quirky. And I had no idea how quirky you were.
I'm something.
Yeah.
I'm something.
So, you know, Kat loves her, you know, her needlepoint, like...
Yeah, my knitting.
She's
my
a knitter.
Knitting.
She's an avid knitter.
I'm like 26, but I'm actually 80 on the inside. Like, I'd rather hermit inside a knit.
But that you kind of take on, like, the older sister / mom role with all of us, don't you think? Even though I'm the oldest... You take on this, like, you're always checking on everybody, and you're like, when we're traveling together, you're like, can I make you something to eat? Is everybody okay?
I know, Brittany. She had, just like a quick story on that. This is like the second time around. So this is before, I can't remember if it was before or after Universal Studios, Krystal. But,
I think it was after. It was after. Yeah,
Brittany ended up having, like, a really bad sore throat, and I woke up early in the morning, I'm like, do you want some tea? Let me make you some tea.
Oh, Kat. Oh, but okay. So quirkiness aside, so I've told everyone like their identities. So you know, Chanel loves her like witchy pagan stuff, and then Brittany loves her like creepy vampire stuff. She loves Jessica from True Blood. She's a natural redhead. She's super pale. Kat loves Velma from Scooby-Doo, which is oddly perfect for your identity because you are quirky and weird, nerdy. She loves history. Nerd. Yeah, like, you are, like, in-depth, and, like, you are the Velma, if Velma ever walked alive, you are embodying it.
And I legitimately always lose my glasses, like, all the time. Like, it's ridiculous.
But with that, you're also, what we have deemed you, the Aaron Goodwin of the group, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you weren't really going for that, like...
No. I'm just always laughing and cracking jokes and... being really obnoxious.
And tripping and, like, doing
and
stupid
tripping
things.
And getting scared and, you know, my life.
Yeah, you were the scared screamer of the group where, like...
Oh, God.
So, actually, let's talk about that for 1 minute. Let's talk about the night that you were at my house and we were all, like, you know, camping out slumber party style. And Brittany fell asleep within 2 seconds. Chanel had no cares in the world to give. I was asleep, and you apparently were interacting with some sort of entity that was knocking on the wall. And
I don't know what the heck, man. I was like, why? Why me? Well, it was crazy because it was literally, like, shuffling stuff in the closet behind me. I'm like, seriously? Why? Like, let me sleep, please. That I actually called Krystal in to put on Hercules for me in the bedroom. So I was watching Disney to fall asleep. That's like crazy.
And then the next day, so everyone was getting up rather early, you know, and we were like doing breakfast. It was just fun. That was like more team building time. And pretty much Chanel, Brittany, and myself walk out at about the same time. And Kat is sitting in my living room on this giant beanbag, okay? Knitting like ferociously fast. Okay, and her eyes are like ginormous, and the three of us are like, "Are you okay? Like, what happened?" She's like, "I didn't sleep all night. There was something knocking. I could hear it in the closet." She's like,
my eye was like twitching too. I was like, "Oh my God, I didn't sleep at all."
And Brittany's like, "You didn't sleep?" And you're like, "No, I didn't. I couldn't. How could you sleep? I don't know how you could sleep." Like,
oh my God.
But that was your like first really major encounter. I mean, like, where it was repetitive and it wasn't leaving you alone. Where Chanel, Brittany, and I have already dealt with that before, right? So which is probably why we all slept through it and you didn't.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
How did that? But I remember you went home after that, and you called me, and I remember you were like, from having this like paranormal experience, like my whole world has changed. Like I view everything differently. I didn't realize. Like, it was proof, like, it was a very personal experience. We had a lot of experiences together, actually, when we were together, and you had a very personal experience as well, while we were using ghost equipment. But you told me your world changed, so what do you mean by that? Do you still feel that way? Did it just kind of reshape you as a person a little bit?
Yeah, it really did. I mean, I've had experiences in the past and, weird dreams, but it was almost like, especially with how everything happened with Krystal and me being a part of Ghost Girl Diaries now, it was more like validation that this is the right path that I'm supposed to be on, especially when I had that personal experience with a friend that came through that passed away a couple years ago. She was a really good friend of mine, and just having her, like, communicating with her and literally using her as a tool to practice with the ghost gear and such was really validation for me that this was meant to be. And even when I didn't sleep a lot, having those experiences was just really eye-opening and something for me to take and grow from, for the future of Ghost Diaries.
And we all got really, I mean, that was your friend, obviously, that you're interacting with the ghost gear. But literally when it happened, we all four are sitting together at a table and, completely equal across from each other. And all four of us just start crying. Like, we literally, could not hold it in. It was, very, it's like, I guess that's what I get so frustrated with a lot of shows on TV is that, okay, yeah, there's demons and scary shit and, whatever, fine, cool. But, there's seriously emotional encounters that happen. And
it was beautiful.
It is a beautiful experience when it's, not something really dark, especially when you're not, just looking for the dark,
Yeah, it really, and that was the big eye-opener, was that, the stigma that Hollywood is, and we've talked about this before, Krystal, that the stigma that Hollywood has put into people's brains has just really made just the paranormal as a whole really negative. And that's not really how it is. And having had that experience, to kind of cap on it a little bit, I heard my name called twice through Spirit Box. And I knew who it was, but I didn't really come to terms with that. And that goes into a longer story just with my friend passing and never really going back. And, I don't really know how to explain that.
Well, it was a shock that happened when she passed.
It was a shock. Yeah.
It wasn't planned. It was an accident. There was no goodbye, right? It was unfinished business.
Well, I talked to her that night. So it was really strange when it happened. But anyway, she came through. And when I asked for validation, if it was her, the whole EMF there lit up.
Yeah.
And stayed lit up for a solid minute. And I just bawled my eyes out because it was just a really beautiful moment.
Well, and it's not just obviously getting evidence is fun and cool and beautiful, but I obviously, the four of us together have some serious energy together, and we feel serious energy. And I think it was almost more of just feeling the energy of the room is what got us crying. We were just couldn't hold, it literally, it was simultaneous. All four of us started to cry at the same time. And I was like, Brittany, go get those paper towels. I got something in my eye, Brittany. She ran over, God. But yeah, so the four of us together are weird. Let's be real, right? So, another, I guess, let's see, inspiration, creating Ghost Girl Diaries in the beginning was the movie The Craft, right? I've always loved The Craft. Are we going to be summoning in demons and doing witchcraft? No. I mean, Chanel might be. I'm just kidding. But no, I'm just kidding, Chanel. Just kidding. No, but the theme was just I liked the four strong, predominant females, but I didn't want it to be fake, right? I wanted to bring in the right people. And then when you get those right four people together, what happens when you go to these haunted locations and you get to experience these, people that are stuck in the gray zone? And the four of us have some major just energy chemistry together. I mean, we literally had, when we're together, we literally have people on the street walking by us, reaching out and grabbing Brittany. Stopping us. I mean, and it's continuous. It happens. Strange. People get really they're enthralled with the four of us together, which I find strange because people walk around together in groups all the time, right? There's something about our energy that people sense, and it's just validation for me that all four of us together was the right decision. Which you guys are awesome. So now your job title with Ghost Girl Diaries is you do a lot of things, right?
Do all of the above.
Yeah, so
not as much as Krystal. But
originally you were supposed to do social media. And then you kind of got in there, you did it, you're like, okay, I'm good, now what's next? You're like, I need something else, I need another task. So I kind of brought in Kat. So first we started doing locations. Kat has found a lot of locations for us for filming, a lot of future locations. So it's maybe not necessarily for season 1, but future locations for season 2, season 3. Fingers crossed if we get signed that far, which we will, is my goal. But Kat really realized how much work it goes into like having and owning a production company. Is it what you thought it was, or is it more? Is it exciting? How do you feel about it?
I feel a lot of things, but it's all excitement. It's good excitement, but it was definitely overwhelming at first, just because like being so new to everything, and it was more overwhelming just like seeing everybody's like locations specifically, their reactions to filming. It was like low high, there was no middle.
Right.
There was like no middle ground. So like either you really kind of had to talk to them about you know, like what we're about, and that we're really there for just like the location itself and the raw history. And then there are just those people that were like, no, we're all set, thanks.
Well, and unfortunately, people in this industry have kind of ruined it for professional film crews that go in, right?
Yeah. So
you get these
really,
like amateur paranormal groups that go in, disrespect the location, disrespect the owners, possibly even disrespect like the eternal residents, and then they don't want to let anyone else come in to investigate, and we have to kind of talk them off the edge of like, calm down. So in the meantime, I've known we needed to hire more people, and I needed to make sure, once again, even if it was people that aren't going to be on the front lines, they're going to be working kind of in the background with me, I still needed to make sure that those people are the right people. So we did hire a new producer who will be working with us. This producer will be, she will not really be seen on the front, meaning like in the cast position. I have given her the option that if later she wants to be more involved on set, she can. For now, she's actually going to be taking over just the locations for like setting for filming, because we realized that in itself is just a major job. And I literally can't give Kat anything else. And Kat is like busy doing social media. She helps me with pretty much everything else. So I need to use Kat for like kind of my like, she's still going to be a producer, but like a producer. She's going to be like coordinating the locations when we're on set, if we're going to film some sort of reenactments of things that have happened in the past from, you know, the eternal residents that are there. But Melissa has accepted our offer, and I mean, she's more than welcome to come on the stream. Maybe she will. She's actually never worked in television. She's worked in only major motion film productions. So she's done producer work as like a official like film movie producer. She's excited to like kind of learn the television side of things. She's really great. I can't wait. And once again, a very strong predominant female helping me on the pre-production side. We also recently have hired on Ouija Bop. I know a lot of you guys know Amy, aka Ouija Bop. Amy has worked with Ghost Girl Diaries on, she actually came in at the time we were in like a transition phase when I actually formally first quit YouTube and then went to Twitch. That's when we met Amy. Amy's from the UK. We brought in Amy. She's going to be helping with production coordination, production assistant work, so kind of helping with all of us with like assisting different things on the back burner side. Eventually, I'd love to get Amy involved and move her from the UK over to the United States, because she is obsessed with history and obsessed with serial killers. Like, she's extremely knowledgeable on serial killers her whole life. So that's why Amy was such a huge asset. And honestly, she'll be helping with smaller stuff, but those smaller things can add up sometimes for myself and Kat when we're trying to do like really major stuff and keep the production moving. So overall, Kat, what do you think about, you know, you actually went through Krystal's film school. Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks. Thank you.
How was film school? How was learning about all the equipment? How is hands-on? How have you liked it so far?
It's been an awesome experience. Just because, like, you know, coming into this, I never really had like camera tech experience or anything with film experience. I'm more of a musician. So like reading about it and learning it and then watching shows and kind of taking what you've read or learned and seeing it visually really helped like with the process. And you really learn so much. And it's really, it's just really interesting because now, like having watched all of your reviews and such, it all makes sense now. You know, and it's been awesome.
It was kind of rigorous. I made them do homework. They had to watch shows. They had to
Check-ins
apply what they were reading to what they were seeing because there's like film lingo, film vocabulary. Being on set, I want them to learn everything, meaning they have to learn audio, they have to learn camera tech, they have to learn the production side of it. Because if at any point we're like missing someone, I send Brittany and Chanel out to do B-roll somewhere else, I might need Kat as a backup camera tech to do some other B-roll somewhere else if we're doing like some major location that's really big. So I need them all to not be afraid to pick up a camera and be like, okay, I'm ready for this, I'm ready to go, you know what I mean? And how did you, so we went to Los Angeles. We went to Universal Studios. We'll talk about that in a second. But it was the first time sort of packing up for a production.
Yeah.
That was a lot, right? It's a lot of work.
It was a ton of work. And, you know, and then of course it's like late, so you're tired. But you really got to stay focused to make sure that, you know, things are being put away properly. But it was really cool to go through that.
No one can get
really cool.
No one can get tired. Because if one person gets tired, well, all of us are tired, yo. Yeah, we all want to go to bed. But if you're working together, I'm promoting teamwork like crazy, right? Like teamwork. If one link gets weak or fails, we all fail, and we can't fail. We have to make sure we pick that person up and carry that person to the finish line. Or like when we're packing up equipment, it's major. And, you know, Blake is super anal retentive about all of the equipment because it's so expensive and, you know, it's taken a long time for us to obtain so much equipment. But, yeah, you guys were, like, ready. You were, like, bam, bam, bam. So we went to Universal Studios, Kat. And...
oh, my God.
I can't even, like, keep a straight face right now.
Yeah.
We went to Horror Nights, or Haunted Horror Nights is what it's called. And... well, we went, like, part of the day we did, like, Harry Potter, and it was really fun, and we did some other stuff. We went on the Mummy ride.
Oh, my God. That was so funny.
Oh, my God.
I love that photo. I just love that photo.
And for the record, Kat and I are really okay. We're the only two that are okay with, like, roller coasters and stuff. Like, Kat and I can pretty much do anything, and we don't get nervous or upset. But, so, we're on the roller coaster, right? So, Blake is here, I'm here, Kat's here, and then Brittany's on the end, okay? So, Blake and Brittany are on the end. They probably should have been in the middle.
They really probably should have.
I'm, like, screaming at Kat, and I'm like, oh, my God. You know, and I was like, something's wrong with Blake. And she's like, something's wrong with Brittany. And I was like, oh, my God. So Blake has shut down. He's, like, in, like, monk stance. He's having an out-of-body experience. And Kat and I can't even enjoy the ride because they're so upset and stressed out. And Brittany is, like, totally, like, screaming like her picture.
It was so bad because, like, I was trying to mom her in that moment where I was like, it's going to be okay. Like, it's almost done. And she's like, I'm not okay.
That's all she was screaming the whole time. I'm not okay. Oh, my God. But we had so much fun. We had so much fun. We went to, so Horror Nights starts. It's like you can participate in this, like, beginning sort of, I guess, like, precursor. What did they call it? They called it, like,
Don't do it.
It's like the intro festival start or something.
Yeah,
and we didn't know what to expect. We're sitting there like, oh, okay. And we can't see. Blake's the only one that can see because he's like 6'1". The rest of us are like 5'4" on a good day.
And he had a GoPro up too.
Right.
He was like holding the GoPro.
But the GoPro is so tiny, you can't really see through the filter, like, you know. So and and remember, he was in the military. He went to war a couple times. He's got some PTSD. He's standing there, and all of a sudden, these horrible like gunshots go off of like explosions. And he has, like, shut down, remember? He's like, okay, I'm back in Afghanistan. I don't know what's going on. Like,
it literally felt like The Purge, and that was the only real scary thing with this. So they had these, like, really awesome pyrotechnics, like giant flames went up in the air, and like these masked people with chainsaws, mind you, we can't see anything up in the front because we're like middle to the back. So all of a sudden you hear chainsaws coming at you, and everybody pushes like to the left, and of course there are barriers up there, so there are people actually pushing us back into the barriers because the metal bars were being like pushed over.
We were in the barricades.
Terrifying.
We were like falling in the barricades. And still, as we're falling in the barricades, we still have no idea what's going on. Like, we still have no idea what's happening.
I was like, what's going on? What's going on?
There's these monsters that are coming at you with chainsaws. They're on like
Brittani.
Still,
it was, like,
yes.
bad.
Oh my, it was crazy. So at that point, they actually did have the Purge maze. And we refused to go in it because it like freaked us out so bad. We were like, we're not gonna get chased out.
Not today, Satan.
But you do, you know, you don't have a big fan in your heart for, you know, scary stuff.
No. Well, okay.
Which is when we figured out you were the Aaron Goodwin.
I'm gonna explain myself because I love the paranormal.
Right.
Like investigating and like learning about history and stuff like that. Like I have no problem sitting alone in the dark.
Right.
But when people like get up in my space with like plastic chainsaws, like touching you with them, I got an issue with that, and I'm probably gonna deck you. So I was like running every time they came at me, but of course I was running away from them, and they were coming at me more. So I was like, oh god.
What was your favorite there? Even though you were like scared, was there a favorite that you had?
Oh man, what was that? What was
the Poltergeist house was
Poltergeist
amazing.
house was awesome. That was like a visual masterpiece.
It was. It was actually where Poltergeist was filmed, but it wasn't really scary. They didn't have a lot of creatures in there, but it looked like identical to the set, and they did have a lot of paranormal things going on in there. It was beautiful. I mean, how do you find beauty in paranormal? I do, but I found it to be very beautiful. They had like a spinning chair on the wall. Just how they had engineered the whole thing. That was a beautiful one.
It was the first time I was actually like looking up and out instead of like dragging Chanel to the ground.
Right.
Every time you're running through a haunted house. That poor girl.
You were hanging on Chanel like for the life of your.
Threw Chanel in the front, like, cause she was like unfazed by most of it. And I was just holding onto her backpack, like putting all of my weight on her to like get me the heck out of there.
Oh my gosh.
No.
We went into a Christmas themed one. And
Krystal.
I tried to hug Krampus, and he was not having it.
He ran.
I scared Krampus, you guys. Like, how did that happen?
Well, what was crazier was the fact that, like, he was on stilts.
Yep.
Too, and he booked it the other way. I was like, what the heck?
He was like, this girl is creepy as hell. Like, she likes Krampus.
All I hear behind me is Krystal being like, Krampus! I was like, what the
what the heck? I freaked out Krampus, only me. So speaking of Krampus, we both did a lot of history this week, researching. So we have weekly themes is what we've changed Ghost Girl Diaries to. And the reason we're doing that is because, you know, the series, when it comes out, each episode will be a theme. So we want to get you guys used to this. And then, you know, I know that if we do some sort of a streaming service is what the goal is for, people can binge watch and it'll be watched in like a day. But still, you know, we plan to like each week after it's release behind the scenes photos, behind the scenes footage of that location, talk about that, you know, location on social media. We'll probably even do some live streams about that location and what we experienced. And so I thought, well, this is the time that we need to start implementing those things into our social media. And I know, you know, it was scary for a lot of the fans to see social media change, to see the channel change. Everyone's happy I'm back, but it's scary because it's new. And, you know, the biggest thing is, you know, getting you guys to also meet and interact with Kat, Chanel, and Brittani, because they're going to be a major, major part of this. It's not just me anymore. I am the ghost girl, but now we are the ghost girls together. And it's important for you guys, you know, to interact. In January, speaking of that, each week one of the girls will be on live with me every Saturday starting January. I did give everyone the month of December off so that they could kind of refresh their brain after they went through my rigorous private film school. So back to Krampus. So what do you think of Krampus here?
I love it. And you know what was even funnier is that when I was doing some research on it for, you know, social media and stuff, I loved this article header that said Santa's demonic companion. It was great.
I called you and I was like, do you think that that's why kids in like Germany and Austria possibly like mind their parents versus here in America they tell their kids like just be good or Santa's gonna leave you coal. In the kid's mind it's like coal, whatever. Like no, in Austria and Germany it's there's going to be a demon come up from the depths of hell.
You will die.
And they're going to take you back to hell. It's like, wow, way to scare a kid. But it is an interesting legend, right? And it's like it dates back to pagan pre-Christianity times. There's several legends that we've been researching, obviously, so there isn't really a right or a wrong one. It kind of depends on the way it's been interpreted yet. So what do you think of Krampus? You think that he is a demon? Do you think he does, you know, one of the legends states he works with Santa and they go in together, and not only if the child's bad, but Santa's just like, take the kid, okay? He's just a rotten egg, and take him back.
Got to keep those white mittens clean. Got to have someone else do his dirty work.
True.
Yeah, it's really interesting that Krampus is like always portrayed as having like a cage on his back, or I'm looking at my notes here. Sorry, like a large wicker basket on his back with like filled with like thorny, unbreakable birch sticks to hit people with. I'm like, yo.
Like switches.
Don't mess with Krampus. Don't mess with Krampus. And what's even funnier is
unless
when you
you're
watch
Krystal
the interaction,
and you scare Krampus off, that can happen.
Unless you're Krystal, yeah. But when like watching the parades and such, it was really cool to see like the kids' reactions and how they. I mean, some of them were afraid, but there were some kids that weren't. You know, and the people dressed up as Krampus would like, you know, play with the kids and take them out, walk them out on the parade, and bring them back. So it's pretty interesting to see how it's kind of like really normal over there.
Yeah, if you watch, I watched videos from Austria and Munich, Germany. I mean, there's multiple places, but Munich's the big place. And those children are like happy and accepting of Krampus. They are dressed up like Krampus. They are like smiling and laughing. And then you go look at the Los Angeles video of Krampus in Los Angeles, and there's people that have brought their kids, and those kids look terrified. Like, I mean, for obvious reasons, right?
Right. I mean, we didn't grow up with that here.
So it's obviously a cultural difference, right? Which I think is so cool. Kat and I were talking, first of all, one year we want to go to, I'm hoping next year that we can all fly out to the Krampus Los Angeles one.
Yes.
Because I think it's cool. But apparently the bigger one is in Washington, D.C., so maybe we can just fly up to New Hampshire and road trip down. But someday our goal is to make it to the actual legitimate Krampus run, either in Austria or in Munich. Which is kind of violent, right? I mean, let's be real.
Wicked.
They whip each other and, like, shove each other, and they, like, the Krampuses get in your face.
Whoa.
What was that? You have activity?
Whoa. My light just went out.
I saw you looking at something, and earlier you were like...
Well, I just heard... Sorry, guys. I just heard a really big, loud bang in my kitchen, so that's why I was, like, looking up, and then my light just went out. And I had charged this all day for the live stream. So I'm going to take this down. I hope people can still see me.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kat lives in a haunted apartment building.
Every time, like, I'm sorry to change the subject, but this happens all the time. I just had an Instagram stream, and I've changed rooms 2 or 3 times to make sure, like, it wasn't the Wi-Fi or, you know, like the LTE that I'm on, and it always happens. Either, like, it'll cut my sound off, or it'll cut my live stream in half when I'm talking about a paranormal experience. Very strange.
Do you think that this is still related to the spirit that followed you home from Salem, Massachusetts?
It could be. It could be. I mean, she really sees me as a motherly figure, so it could be maybe she's chilling around watching. Playing. You know, maybe her energy is taking, But anyway, that was weird. That's weird.
But anyway,
sorry,
just a normal
really
day.
Dark and awkward.
So. No, it's not bad. I mean, you look fine.
Okay.
But, I mean, you know, it's just weird. I'm just sitting here for, like, a ghost heads to pop out on the side and be like, hey.
I forgot I had the screen door open here on my porch, and I saw the curtain move. I'm like, oh. Wait a minute. That's fine. So I'm ready. I'm ready.
Oh my gosh. See, guys, just wait for it. She's going to be like the Aaron Goodwin, like the shocked face. Dude, oh my god. Tripping, falling.
Manly falling.
Oh, manly falling. Oh my gosh. So Krampus, I mean, why don't we just get on to, we're not going to release locations specifically, okay? So I know that a lot of people are wanting to know where we're filming. Our first official film shoot starts January, which is crazy. It's like right around the corner. It's kind of scary because it's so close. But we are planning also, originally we were staying predominantly to the West Coast. Turns out that's not the case anymore. No reason specifically. We're not going to talk about that. My plans never go through, like, specifically, you know? Like, I was like, let's stay West Coast for money and, like, you know, financial purposes. And then now we're going to the East Coast. But we have decided that where we are filming at is just within a few hours from Salem, Massachusetts, speaking of Salem. And so we have decided to go to Salem in January as a group. And we are going to film some B-roll there. We're going to go shopping in Salem and see what happens with all of us together.
Yeah, I'll bring them around.
And we're going to do some, like, woodsy B-roll stuff with all of us, which is going to be cool because the woods up there, Kat said, are beautiful. Creepy, woodsy stuff, right? So, I mean, what else? Like, you're excited about all this. We're all excited to film. We're dying to film. We all miss each other,
yeah,
right?
Krystal, you're breaking in and out.
Really?
I don't know if that's on my end. Probably.
Blake, if you're listening, am I breaking up? He probably would have told me unless I got a text message, but... Oh, all I got was a text from Blake saying, Nikki from high school is on. Nikki, holler, what's up, girl? Aren't you down in, like, let's see, Arkansas or Texas now? What is up, girl? Come visit me in Las Vegas, holler. I don't know. He didn't tell me, so I'm assuming it might be your side. Is it still breaking up?
That's weird, yeah, because it just started, like, going in and out now.
Well, I would appreciate your ghosts just, you know.
No, I just saged in here, too. Jeez.
I just
like,
saged.
God. I even have my favorite Krystal soda light with me. So I'm just saying, promoting positive vibes here, people. I don't know her name.
Oh, there's a good. Okay, so Kat loves crystals. That's a good topic, actually. Kat is like real. I mean, I love crystals too. In fact, I have my little rose quartz that I'm chilling with right now. But you are like really, really obsessed with crystals, which is great. I love them too. And you're like always finding new crystal stores to go into. What's your favorites?
My favorite, I love amethyst, but my new favorite is Angel Aura, which is what I'm wearing now. And essentially, Angel Aura quartz, correct me if I'm wrong, people, because I just recently was introduced to this crystal, promotes, you know, positive energy, a lot like clear quartz or amethyst. But it also promotes seeing like the best in people. And I just really like that. I really like that because I think that, you know, when you're busy or, you know, you see things on social media that sometimes, you know, we all have a sense like judge, and I've been trying to be better with that.
Well, all four of us are empaths, right? Chanel, Brittany,
that
myself,
too.
yeah.
So we feel like lots of different things, and I think that kind of centering yourself and seeing the positive in all situations and the best possible outcome is always just really good too. So right. I really love my Angel Aura.
Yeah, you're really trying to, well, I mean, you've gotten a real good handle on it, but you're really good at mimicking people's energy. Which is that empath part of you.
Yeah.
And so that's another reason you've been like, I love my crystals, they center me, they ground me. Like, if I'm having a bad day and Kat calls me, she'll be like, oh, my stomach doesn't feel good. And she does that with Chanel. We all do that, really, though. If one person's having a hard day, we have to be like, okay, we're going to support you, girl, but I have to put a bubble up because we will just continue to, like, bounce off of each other constantly. We're all terrible about I guess that's that sisterly bond thing, though, that we keep doing.
Yeah, we're all connected in one way or another, and we all always end up feeling like the same.
Well, and you and Brittany, let's talk about that too. You and Brittany are like two peas in a pod, where Chanel and I are like always going through the same thing. We're so weird. That wasn't even planned, right? Like, I mean, Chanel and I are I guess, like, the darker of the group, you could say. We both wear all black, and we're both, like, you know, I don't know, we're weird, I guess, together. But you and Brittany just happen to, you always, like, if she's having something go on, and no, she hasn't told anybody, like, you just, like, almost, like, psychically know something's wrong with her, or vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's so cool. It's so cool. And it wasn't planned, like, because you and Brittany are the newbies.
No.
Like, let's call you two, like, the newest.
And I've never had, like, experiences with, like, this with anybody else. So it's just really, it's even more validating to see, and, you know, that happen. It means you're with a good
I mean, Brittany is so funny, because she's probably the newest, because you've always liked your crystals and stuff like that. You've always had haunted experiences, like, even when you were, like, taking the paranormal class at the university. But Brittany, she's really the newest with, like, her empath abilities. So she'll be like, I think I'm feeling something, but I'm not sure. And she texts all of us. She's like, I'm not sure what this is. But yeah, it's true. All four of us. Let's talk about relationships. So Kat and I have some weird interconnections. Like, our mothers both have the same birthday.
Yeah,
which
we just found that one out.
It freaked us out. Like, she's like, what are you doing Monday? I was like, oh, it's my mom's birthday. She's like, wait, it's my mom's birthday. And I was like, I'm weirded out. I have to go. It's like, literally.
Yeah, well, that phone conversation was so strange, because I was like, yeah, I've got this to do, and then I'm going to go take my mom out. And you're like, oh, you know, just to have dinner. And I was like, no, it's her birthday. And she's like, wait, the 17th is your mom's birthday? And I was like, yes. And she goes, you're joking, right? I'm like, no. And then when she told me it was her mom's too, I was like, mind blown.
We have really weird things like that constantly. That, like, we both grew up very similar. Our mom and dads are both very much alike. Both have very, very strong mothers, right? That like, were hardcore and raised us really well. And so yeah, we always have these weird similarities that we, like, find, and we're always, like, creeped out by each other, because we're like, we always say our lives have paralleled somehow, which is really strange. And yeah, you do your opera. You're a big opera singer as well.
Do.
She sang for Brittany and I. Somehow Chanel slept through that. I don't know how she did that. Because, like, I have, like, really high cathedral ceilings, and Kat's like, I just am dying to sing in here, because I feel like the acoustics would be perfect. And so Chanel's, like, zonked out, and then Brittany and I are like, oh my god, it's so pretty. So yeah, you do your opera. You've done that. You were classically trained, right? Professionally trained classically. You studied it in college.
I did. I studied in college, and my parents are both opera singers as well, so I guess that kind of helps out. Getting some voice lessons from Mama Bear, so...
And that's what you've been doing this winter. You were in a bunch of shows. You, like...
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was in a musical this fall that segued into another musical. I was in Camelot, and then I was in Christmas Carol, and I actually have a show later tonight. It's my final Christmas show of the season. Praise Jesus, really? Because wow.
Praise
yeah, I was just like, praise Satan, excuse me. That's a joke, by the way, folks. But no, it was definitely an emotional roller coaster.
Right.
Lots of not sleeping just because of rehearsals, and, like, you have Hell Week, which is, like, rehearsal every day for, like, 4 or 5 hours. So it can get a little intense, but tonight is it. Tonight's the night.
Goodness. Oh, P.S. Happy solstice, right?
Yes. Happy solstice and
all
full
about
moon.
The solstice,
full moon tonight.
Oh my gosh, let's talk about that for a second, because girl, woo, this month has been
for real.
I mean, all of us have had kind of a stressful month, which is also where I came in to, like, bring in Amy and bring in Melissa, because we knew we were overwhelmed. I am really bad about saying I'll take everything on myself as the executive producer, which I'm capable of. But then I don't have a day off, and then I end up working for, like, 16 hours a day. So everyone was like, Krystal, we love you, but can you hire some more people? And I was like, you're right. You're right. So we're in kind of training with them. We're going to start, like, official training after Christmas with Amy and Melissa. But, I mean, this month was strange. And
yeah,
we have been the four of us have been trying to, well, obviously I lost my dad, which was hard. Only the girls really knew about it. Shout out to all the fans for being so sweet. Nobody really knew it had happened or was happening. I was keeping it extremely private, just to kind of figure out how to process it myself. So shout out to everybody. The girls were extremely supportive. But the month of December, I was really trying to get back on track with like a normal work schedule. It was really hard when you're going through like the loss of a parent like that. So I got back on track, but we have been really in tune to like spiritual things that in the last 6 months we've never looked into. Like there's some sort of portal that had that was opening of like purging old energy, and the portal supposedly just closed. Kat, you know a little bit more about that.
yeah. So the portal opened on the 17th of December and went all the way through to yesterday, exactly 5:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So wherever you are, that was the time the portal closed. But because we have a full moon today, we still have time to like clear out that extra baggage and make sure that you and your energy are good to go for a renewed strength in 2019.
It's basically trying to purge any, extra emotional, mental baggage that you've been holding on for too long, maybe even for years.
So, like, essentially, like, everybody reacts differently to it, but, some people get really lethargic or have people from their past come back in their lives that they did not have a good ending with, or people will have very bad nightmares, like their worst fears, or of people from their past. And that's just really part of the process. I've had a lot of head pressure. I felt really nauseous sometimes, depending on how thick the energy is or whatever, I need to clear out on my end. So going through those motions too has been a really big eye opener, but it's really taught me a lot to just kind of take things for yourself, and it's okay for you to rest and, really be in tune with just you and your energy.
And my issue was that, like, I would plan, like, normally I'll plan, like, a week out, right? Like, Tuesday I'm going to film, because Wednesday's the Patreon video. Shout out to my Patreon subs. They said they loved the video this week. P.S. My Patreon subs in January are going to get behind the scenes footage. So now is a good time to subscribe to Patreon. They're going to get to see behind the scenes footage that we are filming at locations. And they're super excited about that. So, and the first one will drop in January as well, probably towards the end of January. My thing was, I would go to do something like for work after I pre-planned the week, and nothing would work out.
Yeah.
I'd call Kat and I'd be like, I got nothing done today. Like, because all of this weird stuff happened, and like literally got nothing done on my plate. And that was like the universe saying, Krystal, you have got to hire some more people. Because you're allowed to have a day off, you're allowed to slow down, you're allowed to work a normal, 8 or 10 hour workday. So that's been kind of a big like accepting process for me, but it is working. And once we bring in Melissa and Amy, I think it's gonna be so smooth. Aren't you excited for that?
I am very excited.
Everybody loves Amy. Oh my god, because Amy's been working with us for months. So. And that was like a sporadic I think she was on Twitch. She might have had to go to work. Amy's in the UK. But Amy, everyone has known her for a while, and she's always had this, like, she loves serial killers. For her birthday, I sent her some serial killer books and stuff like that. And so I just sporadically just wrote her one night, and I was like, Amy, you know what? The crew loves you already. You've done a lot of work for us and helped us all these months. Do you want to help us with the production? She's like, oh my gosh, yes. And then I told the crew, and they're like, oh my god. Everyone was like, Brittany calls me the other night. She's like, I just want to tell you I'm so excited that Amy is on, because she's just really positive and full of good energy. Melissa is a really hard worker. She's going to be pretty much working from home. Kat and I are going to be training her in locations. And, Kat's kind of really fluent in that now, because that's what you've been doing for the last, like, what, four months or so. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. As in, I told Melissa when she comes on, that's the only thing she'll be doing is locations, because it's detrimental. Obviously, we need those locations for filming. you kind of have to develop an interpersonal relationship with the owners or the innkeepers or managers of these locations, and you have to gain their trust, right? Like, they want to make sure we're not going to come in there and either A, physically destroy the business, or B, you know, portray the location incorrectly when we're done with, like, editing and filming. So it's hard, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of thinking, and it's relationship building, essentially. Are you excited to hand that off to Melissa so that you can focus on all the other stuff?
Only because there's just so much more that needs to be done too. You know, and we're both only one person.
Yep, and Kat's going to be helping with marketing, and, well, she already technically does marketing with social media, but she's going to be
we have a convention.
Marketing. Yep.
Convention coming up in January.
Oh, that's right.
So we'll have a table. We'll
If anybody decides to go or be near New Hampshire in January, where is it at again? Because I don't know.
It's at Manchester, New Hampshire, and it's at a great little location there. Some friends of mine are running it.
Is it called a Paracon? Is that what it is?
Yep.
Okay.
2019 Paracon, and the Annabelle doll will be there as well.
Yep.
So Krystal and I are going to go see that.
Yep. So if anybody, I know a lot of people are wanting to do meet and greets with me and the crew. This will be our first one, and we're not really sure how it's going to go because we haven't done it before, but the goal was 2019. Not only, obviously, we're filming and doing season 1 of Ghost Girl Diaries, but we're also going to be doing more appearances in person. So, for sure, Kat, myself, Blake will be there. We'll have a few other assistants that are helping us with the table. Brittany isn't going to be there this time, and that's because she's working. We haven't quite gotten her to the point where she can quit yet. And Chanel's only a few hours away, so I'm assuming Chanel will probably come up for the convention, so you guys will get to meet her. In fact, I think if Chanel comes to the convention, fingers crossed, she will be doing tarot card readings at the convention.
Yes.
And she's really good.
Exciting.
She is, yeah, she's really good. So she'll be charging, obviously. I don't know what she charges. But she'll be doing, and you're doing a website. You have Magic Loops. You just opened Magic Loops up.
Yes. Yeah, a little knitting side business. Might as well, since that's all I do is knit.
You do. On the road trip, she's in the backseat knitting. She's like knitting her heart contents out.
Yeah.
Right. So you also knitted me a ghost not too long ago.
I did. Yes, his name is Fred.
Oh God, Fred is sitting with Stanley at the moment behind me.
Stop it! Stop.
That wasn't me. That was Blake. Okay. I can't. It's too inappropriate for YouTube. So no, Kat did a giveaway, and she knitted the cutest ghost. And I was gonna do this giveaway up for Patreon subscribers. Okay. And so she sent it to me in the mail, and I opened it, and it was like totally just obliterated. Like it was in a glass container. It was just like it had exploded.
I created like this whole like Halloween themed jar, and clearly, you know, I mean, I guess
the post office
was just using it as a freaking soccer ball. So, you know, it got there in pieces, which I was not happy about.
And I was like, Kat, I felt so bad telling her. I saved Fred. Fred is the little knitted ghost. So I'm
happy with that.
He's in my office. I saved Fred's life. Ooh, someone's wanting you to do knitting tutorials on YouTube. Hey, girl.
To do what?
Knitting tutorials.
Oh my God.
Don't tempt her, okay?
Just saying. Don't.
She'll just sit there for hours and be like, let me show you. Oh my gosh, she's knitted all kinds of stuff. I have a bunch of stuff she's given me. I was going to do a little photo shoot with it. She does like the fingerless gloves. I loved those. She's done as hats. I have Fred, obviously. She can knit ghosts.
Yeah, I can do like pumpkins. I can knit
pillows,
like koozies and blankets, pillows, flowers. I do like the little like sunflower coasters. Pretty much anything and everything. Bags, handbags, shoe bags. Yeah, I love knitting. And I love yarn. I have like an unhealthy obsession with yarn.
Yep.
Anywhere I see it, I'm like, I'm just gonna buy it.
She has started a collection at my house.
I have, yes.
She's like, I don't want to travel with this, so I'm just going to leave this here. It's this like big bag of yarn. I was like, okay, girl, you do it. You do it. She's knitted me flowers. I have flowers that are in my dining room. And so yeah, she's going to have some knitted stuff too for sale up at the convention, which is so cool. I'm so excited. So Chanel will be doing her tarot. I'll be there. I'll be bringing like Ghost Girl swag to sell. We'll probably have like keychains, lanyards. I'm not sure if I'm going to travel with actual like t-shirts yet. I don't think we're quite at that point, but I'm going to have a lot of crystals. I'm going to have jewelry. And we're going to be meeting Annabelle, which will be very, very interesting. Are you excited about that?
I'm very excited, and I'm also very excited to chat with Tony Spera. We'll be doing a lecture there for a few hours, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, that'll be cool. It'll be cool to see it. So yeah, if you guys can make it to Manchester, is that right? Manchester, New Hampshire?
Yes, Manchester, New Hampshire.
We will be there
on the 25th.
25th of January. So we will be up there, and then we actually have a filming shoot after that. Not in New Hampshire, but it's northeast. So we thought, well, if we're already there for the convention, might as well make a trip out of it. So we will be there, and hopefully you guys, if anybody's interested in coming to meet us in New Hampshire, who would have thunk I'd be doing, a convention in New Hampshire? Who would have thunk that I've that's one of the states I've never been to, because it's just a little bit far north,
Like, I know. It's like, where's New Hampshire? Like, I don't even know, and I live here. I mean,
I know when I hired you, I'm like, you're in New Hampshire? Wow. Like, because your plane ride to Vegas is like almost 4 hours.
Yeah.
And so by the time she gets here, she's like, goo. She's like, I'm over it. I just want to eat and take a nap.
Pretty much. And then knit.
And knit. Yep, she knits.
And knit.
So yeah, this is the crew, guys. Everybody's really great. I'd love it. I'm hoping that eventually once the girls get comfortable streaming, maybe they'll be able to stream like using Discord together. You guys can you and Chanel can do one. And that way everybody can see how you guys interact together even without me. Everybody's hilarious. These girls are my long lost sisters, and so how great do you think this series is going to be, Kat?
How great do I what? Sorry, my phone's like right now.
I know yours is cutting out a little bit too. How great do you think Ghost Girl Diaries the series is going to be?
Oh, the best thing since sliced bread. Brace yourselves, people, because 2019's coming. So wasn't Ghost Girl Diaries.
Hey, Year of the Female. Sabrina got re-signed. Yes. Year of the Female Paranormal. Oh, isn't it? Time. Oh, you guys, it's going to be like nothing you've ever seen before. I know that we love the paranormal side. We love the history. But we're also going to be focusing on each of us as, like, our own character. We'll probably have B-roll footage of Kat knitting somewhere. God only knows.
Oh, God.
And... Chanel's going to be all spiritual, and she's going to be doing her, spiritual things, and then Brittany's going to be, bringing out her inner true blood vampire, and what does that leave for me? Everybody's, the fans labeled me Dark Barbie, so I guess that means the only thing I'm good at is, using a credit card and shopping, but I'm okay with that. You know what I mean?
Gosh, Krystal.
But I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. We'll get some B-roll footage of me shopping, okay? That's fine. I'm totally fine. But yeah, all of us together, it's really a great... It's I don't know. It's one of those things I can't help but feel like it was very, very pre-planned before we got here.
Yeah.
Because we've all just been... Everyone's a hard worker. Kat and I talk every day because she's working with me constantly on stuff. And we're really nervous because we know January 1st, it's hit the ground running. We're going and not stopping.
Do it.
Filming starts, editing starts. I'm training Chanel on editing. It is no joke. January 1st is it's gonna get crazy. And we still will be streaming. We'll still have videos, so make sure you tune in. Every week will be one of the girls. And anybody have any other questions? I don't think I see any questions on this side. I've been kind of watching Twitch.
I don't see anything over here either.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you. Kat, you're going to have to get on top of those knitting tutorials.
I guess so. How to knit Fred the ghost.
You should totally do that,
Oh my gosh.
I should have grabbed him before I got on here.
It probably won't even post.
What, Fred?
With my luck with... Well, no, I mean, with my luck with the internet and it just spazzing out on me here.
Well... Eventually, Kat is wanting to move to Vegas, too. Eventually, Kat's going to have an apartment here. She loves Vegas too, right? And Chanel
Yes.
loves Vegas, and Brittany, everybody's
Yep.
wanting to move to Vegas. That was not a requirement, by the way. They just, it's really cool out here, though.
Love it.
It
It's
is.
like a second home. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So why not?
I know people don't realize that there's more than just gambling in the Strip.
The Strip,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
It's not for everybody, let's be real.
Mhm.
I mean, if you have a drinking issue or like a prostitute issue or a gambling
Not ideal.
issue, it's
Probably
the
not
best,
ideal,
you know?
but
But, you know, for the rest of us, you know, people that just like shopping, there's tons of shopping, which is one of the reasons I'm here. So, once again, back to Dark Barbie with your credit card. So, make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you're watching us on social media for like announcements and events. Please subscribe to our Patreon because we're going to have awesome content. We've had weekly behind the scenes videos on Patreon every week. Those go up on Wednesdays. And shout out to Kat for being on with us. Thank you so much. And happy solstice to
Happy
Kat
solstice,
and everybody. Merry Christmas if that's what you celebrate. Happy holidays,
Yes.
whatever you celebrate. And just please make sure you tune in. Please subscribe to Twitch. Subscribe to our YouTube. Subscribe to Patreon. Follow us on social media. And as always, we will catch you guys next time. Bye, guys.
bye.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through?